Weird. Okay, well, we didn't have an intro. But this is a funny show. It's okay. We're back. Wait, Enzo's not back.
I didn't know
back.
he
I hope
wanted
I
me
didn't.
Part 2.
I hope I didn't cuss at the beginning, but I might have. But it's okay.
No, you didn't. I just hit.
Okay.
I just hit go live. Sorry. So I ended that.
So
everybody.
you did it? I thought I did it.
No, I did it. There's nobody in there, but I'm going to apologize to the people that were in there. I apologize for ending the stream. That did not mean to happen, or I did not mean to do that. So
she was showing us her backyard, and it was awesome. And I'm very proud of you. That everything looks really nice. I'd love to see it during the day.
Thank you. And it was fun. And maybe someday I'll find something cool that is also worth a lot of money. That would be neat.
You're really doing a lot, because you're saving your money you're saving your family a whole bunch of money, because it costs a lot to have rocks bring out to your house, and it costs a lot to have somebody spread them and do all that stuff. So you're really doing something good.
Mike, I have a question though. So like, do normal people, if they wanted to have a garden and things like that, and their yard had like a bunch of rock in it, would they just have somebody come out and they would just put stuff on top of there? Or do people have a person come out and dig up rock?
No, people have a person come out and lay down this black stuff, the black tarp thing, plastic. And then they have people, the quarry people dump the rock in front of your house. And then you can either like hire somebody to come and bring it to your backyard and spread it out, or you can do it yourself.
So you spread it on top of whatever is in your yard, basically.
Yeah, but they put something over it so like it kills the grass underneath or weeds, and so that it doesn't grow through.
But nobody's ever curious about what's under the dirt in their yard, though.
I'm curious about like what's in the walls.
Yeah,
I looked up on Lowe's.com. Because they sell river rock, which is like those little pebbles and stuff that you had laid out in the middle of your path. The small ones, they had like laid out there for a 5-pound bag is almost $7. And that's not very big. 5 pounds is not very big of those rocks.
No, it's not. It's not at all. I think at Home Depot, they were $13 for river rock. I don't know how many pounds it was in the bag, but
probably about twice that. That's about right.
Yeah. Not to mention the labor.
I wonder how many pounds you've taken out.
I know. I wonder too. Probably a lot. Probably as many pounds as I lost in weight. I bet.
That's good too. It's good exercise. You're getting out. And you know what?
Yeah.
So we were always taught that the sun is bad. Well, it's kind of bad sometimes when it burns us, but the sun is actually really good for you. And it's like really, it energizes your body, it recharges your body, and actually gives you certain chemicals from the sun. The air gives you chemicals your body needs. The sun gives you chemicals your body needs. So like I said before at the beginning, I said everything that you need is within you and around you. And we all need to remember that. And I think we could all be a lot healthier.
And I don't know. I like working with the dirt, and I don't mind getting dirty. So.
Wait, what's your sign? What is your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Is that an earth sign? No, that's a water sign.
No, I'm a water sign. I'm a nurturer.
Yeah, supposedly. You're very loving and caring. That's what Cancers are known for, being very loving and caring, in touch with their emotions, and empathetic, and give us all the love.
And we go around things to get what we want. We don't just go right at something. That's why whenever I always look like I'm just all over the place, because I'm a crab.
I think everybody's just perfect the way they are. I don't think anybody should ever say, oh, she's all over the place before she gets done. Or if somebody says like, oh, she talks too much or she thinks too much. I don't think that. I think that is something people say coming from their own insecurities. I think everybody talks just fine, just the right amount, however they want to. And I think that everybody needs to drop and let go of all of those little sayings, because it's not helpful.
I think that what people need to realize is that everybody is different. And so just because you don't think that much, or just because you are a certain way, doesn't mean that everybody works like that. And there's no such thing as normal. There's
Right.
literally
And there's no such thing as perfect either.
no, because there's not a book that was written or whatever that said, it's right to think about this amount of time. And there's no way for me to tell, like, what is your frame of reference for thinking? Like, what is your thinking? Is it like hearing, like, do you hear it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's no way for me to not think about things. Like, that's just not going to happen ever.
Right. And then that also brings us to the importance of like having the ability to see things from outside of your own perspective. You have to be able to see things what other people, consider put yourself in other people's shoes. Consider how they're seeing it and thinking it. And people would get along a lot better. There would be a lot less negative energy in the air if people could just do that and accept it and be that way. But lots of people cannot do that, only see it their own way, my way or the highway, or just everybody else is wrong, or there's a lot of that. And that, hopefully that the message I like to send and put around my own little world is that's not useful. It serves no one, and we don't need that kind of attitude.
Yeah. And that's why we do things that we enjoy. So we spent a lot of time talking about my stuff. So let's talk about your guys' stuff. So what do you guys do for Bliss?
Well,
You go, Eva.
I
I shared a little bit too.
I guess it would be my turn now. But for me, I'm kind of simple as far as being pleased and happy. At least I think so. I have to give a little bit of a background first of where to bring me to where I'm at right now, because I'm very blissful right now and happy for what I have.
Good.
I am in my happy place, but
That's awesome.
I was in the Air Force for 24 years, and for the most part, almost that entire 24 years, I was like always on call. I was always like on standby. That phone could ring at any minute. And a lot of times it did, that middle of the night, hey, I need you to go on this trip. Okay, when do I leave? 18 hours from now. I'll see you there.
Wow.
That kind of thing. Where that happened a lot, which was the downside of being really good at your job. Because my personality is I'm kind of a problem solver. If I see something weird that should work somewhere else and everyone else is like, bah, this is impossible. I love impossible. Let me tinker with it for a little bit and I'll see it, may not totally solve it, but it'll work better than it did before. That kind of an idea. I've always liked, a challenge for stuff like that. That's most of my stuff is all mental, where it's like, which I know isn't a surprise to some people, but where I see a mental challenge in trying to figure out how this works, or maybe a better way of doing things, or maybe the approach that someone is doing a particular job could be done way better or way easier if they did it this way, coming at it from the opposite angle, that kind of a thing. That's kind of my thing that I used to do. Is I was the fixer.
So you were like what Elon Musk is going to be for us. You were that guy.
Well, I'm not taking us to Mars because I don't have gazillions of dollars.
Oh, not that. I mean his efficiency thing. Isn't he supposed to like figure out and fix like all the corners or cut the jobs that they'll need to be there and all that jazz?
Oh yeah, there's always some level of fat trimming you can do to make things a little more efficient. I usually don't get that deep into it. It's more of I see something that's like, this would be so much easier if they just did it this way. And I start doing it that way. And everybody else is like, oh, wow, that worked pretty good. I'm going to start doing that too. So I retired from the Air Force in December of 2009. And the way that I had my finances set up is I didn't necessarily have to have a job when I retired if I didn't want to, because I have my military benefits that I get immediately from being in there for over 24 years. That was the retirement package I had lined up. The one they have now is very, very different. It's they get out. That's their they have to wait until they turn 65 or something like that. It's like a double Social Security kind of a thing for them, or something like that. I don't know.
Really?
It's something. It's not a very good deal. It's not a good deal at all.
Man, that's too bad.
But anyways,
that's too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, whatever it is they have now. But anyhow, so I didn't have to work, and so far I haven't really wanted to work because after you've been in, like, in my case, I was kind of like the apex guy in my career field. Once you've been in for 20 plus years, you're the expert.
Cool.
Right.
Other bases would call. It's like, hey, how are you guys dealing with this? Oh, you do this and this. Oh, that's a good idea. We'll start doing that here. That kind of thing. You are the functional expert by the time you've been in that long in the military in whatever it is that your job is, no matter what you do.
Right.
And to go from that to, I could, because I live near Wichita, Kansas, which Wichita is actually famous for. It's called the air capital of the world. We have a lot of aircraft manufacturing plants here in Wichita. Cessna, Boeing, Lear, all of those big names that you may have heard of, all have little tiny airports all around the town, and they make their own aircraft there. So much so Cessna's got such a big operation here that people will fly their planes in from all over the country to get upgrades and stuff to it, to include famous personalities that are aviation nerds. I was at a restaurant.
Why do you think that is? Like, why Kansas?
Well, it actually dates back to World War II. This is where they made B-47s back during World War II, because it's in the middle of the country and it's kind of isolated, and so it was safe from spies and people coming in from the coast or any of the borders. It's right in the middle of the country, so it was kind of a secure site. So that's where we made some of our bigger aircraft, was here during that time. Well, of course, after the war was over, that industry's still there, so they kept cranking out planes.
Cool.
But I could have easily, because I worked aircraft maintenance while I was in the Air Force, so I could have easily spun right around and been doing, a beginner line work type job doing there, making some pretty good money, working some pretty crappy hours, doing some pretty crappy work. And going from when I was in the Air Force, where I was kind of like the alpha guy, I was the top guy for, my career field for the things that I have done, to then go right back to where I'm the nobody. I'm the, oh, by the way, you new guy, go sweep the floor and go clean the bathroom because you're the new guy or whatever. I couldn't deal with that. That a lot of military people have that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Oh, a drill sergeant. That's one of those things where it's I think that would kind of be fun for a little while, but I would probably get tired of yelling at people. But But anyways, so for me, when I retired, and to be fair, I did have a couple of like part-time jobs that I did that were associated with my old job, but it wasn't like a full-time thing. It was, filling in. I was a subcontractor to a contractor that I would do things like when that person was sick or was take vacations or stuff like that. So it was certainly a part-time job. But anyways, and all of that dried up 2019 or so, 2018, 2019. So I've had nothing as far as like, a few extra pennies coming in every once in a while, but that's fine because I've got my finances figured out for that. I am not rich, but the secret is having no debt. I don't have a house payment. I don't have a car payment. I don't have any other stuff. I mean, I have my regular bills, of course, like everybody else, your insurance and your phone and stuff like that. But I just don't have any of that debt, so I don't have to worry about it. So I have a little extra money at the end of the month, and I can save up for something I want to buy. Don't go get a loan. Just save up for it if you can't afford it. But anyway, that's a whole other for as far as my bliss.
You're smart, Enzo. You're smart.
Yeah, you're abundant in so many ways.
Yeah. I've certainly been told that there's usually an ass at the end of that, of being a smart over the years. But as far as my bliss, from having that hectic problem solving and doing all of that stuff for so many years, all I wanted to do was just sit back and relax. And for me, because I don't have to wake up in the morning, and that's why it's 10:30 at night, and I can sit here slugging back whiskeys, chatting with you. I don't have to get up in the morning if I don't want to go. If I don't have to do anything I don't want. For me, every day is a Saturday.
Awesome.
I don't have to worry about going to work the next day.
Enzo's living the American dream, or I don't know if
really
it's the American dream, but it's my dream.
Yeah, you're a man of leisure.
I paid my dues. I'm certainly, like I said, not rich, but I will save up my pennies to get something that I do want. And for me, I still do like my problem solving, bug. I play, video games, or I watch like a ton of YouTube videos about weird mysteries that happen around the world and stuff like that, and read a lot of books and things like that. Just little things that kind of keep me occupied. It has since grown to the point now to where that stupid van project, I can't go a live stream without talking about it, where I'm gonna basically go out and find my own mysteries. I've spent the last so many years looking at everyone else's views on cryptids and ghosts and UFOs and ancient archaeology stuff and stuff like that. I think it's time that I just take like road trips, because time is what I have for right now in abundance, where I don't have to worry about, well, I got to take a week of vacation to go to this place to go check out how something cool is. I can just go.
Yep.
Now I can't afford, staying in hotels and, going out to dinner every night and stuff like that, living on the road. But I can save up my pennies for a van with a little bunk in the back and a little space for me to do up videos or something like that on a laptop.
Van life.
Just do my own adventure. I'm not going to convert full time into a van life person. There are people that do that. That ain't me. But going out for like a week or so at a time to just adventure, to go, hey, I'm going to go check out whatever's going on over here because I can. That kind of, for me, that is my bliss. Is I've worked really hard the first part of my life to where I can kind of relax and do other things in the latter part of my life, where I can, for me, it's, certainly I have things, responsibility, things that I have to get done around the house and stuff like that. And I usually get that done like right away. First thing in the morning, get that done. Okay, now it's done. Now I've got the rest of the day to fool around and do whatever I want. Maybe I'm feeling super lazy and just turn on the TV and watch old Star Trek shows or something like that all day. If it's a crappy day outside or something like that, it's whatever I want to do. So for me, that is my bliss. Is I've worked really hard for a period of time where I didn't have time to do anything else, so that now I can do whatever I want at my own pace.
Right. Do you ever sing? Because if I lived alone, I'd sing a lot.
Yeah, I sing a lot.
No, I could not carry a tune in a bucket. I am not a singer.
So do people I don't know. Do you have to be able to carry a tune to sing? Like, can't you sing anyway? Like, even if you
only if you don't want people throwing rocks at you, I guess.
Well, yeah, but if you're home alone, I'd be singing. I'd be singing, and I wouldn't care how I sound.
That's another one of my personality things. Is when I'm doing my own thing, I don't want anybody else bothering me. I want to be doing just my own thing. I don't want to draw attention to myself. I don't want to do any of these things. If I'm true. Out in the public and I'll strike up a conversation with the person, walking down the aisle at Sam's Club or something like that. It's like, hey, how you doing? Have you ever tried those? Are they any good? Okay. Just whatever nonsense like that. Cause I have got like I've started going to like different conferences and stuff like that. A couple of UFO conferences, and actually been parts of them in other areas. My favorite part about that is just listening to everyone else's story. I absolutely love it. That's my favorite part. Not necessarily, whoever the famous speaker is you've seen on TV or anything. I've probably already heard it already, whatever they've got to say. But afterwards, following the crowd and just striking up conversation with somebody. Hey, what do you think about this part? Whatever. So it's that's my favorite part of
That's
those.
awesome. That all sounds very well deserved.
Yeah,
you deserve that, Bliss.
And I understand that that's certainly not for everybody, and it is a long-term payoff. 24 years is a good chunk of time. It worked out for me, which my story would be very different. Like if I was married and had kids and had a giant house that I had to pay off and stuff like that, my story would be very different. But I've always been because I was always traveling, I was never able to like settle down with anybody back home, kind of a thing. So that's kind of the lifestyle I've thrown myself into, to the point where it's like, because I've had some long-term dating, prospects and stuff like that, where I stay over at their house, they stay over at my house, and bananas sharing space with somebody, because I'm so used to being alone now that it's weird having to share space with somebody. It's like, why do you want to watch this show? It's stupid, on TV. all those things. Of course, there are compromises in any kind of relationship and stuff like that. But for me, I'm kind of okay. I've gotten to the point now in my life. I'm 57, just turned 57 a few weeks back. I'm okay with the solo lifestyle, where don't get me wrong, it'd be great if I had,
but your lady friend lives here, remember, here in Arizona. She's here waiting for you.
That's right. My future ex-wife, giantess girlfriend, apparently is.
I was just gonna say,
your future ex-wife. Oh, she's your future ex-wife? Is that what she told you?
No, that's my joke. Okay. My future ex-wife.
Oh,
so
you wouldn't get divorced, Enzo. You'd make a great husband.
I think that sounds like a charmed life, well deserved and charmed, and I think that you should enjoy every minute of it.
Yep.
Thank you.
I want to get a truck with a camper on it, and then you and I can go on a trip together. I'll follow you. Susie and I'll sleep in the camper.
You want to buy my old Tacoma? And
I do. I would very much like to buy your old Tacoma. That's the kind of truck I want. A Tacoma with a camper. Yep.
But as far as bliss, by definition, for me, my bliss is being able to. I've situated my life to where I can sit and ruminate on various world mysteries or little puzzles or little things that kind of keep my mind occupied. Because that's something that I enjoy doing. I'm, being that problem solver type of background is trying to figure out how to apply that to other things outside of like a normal type environment. And I've certainly felt like, to get a little esoteric, I've certainly felt like in instances that that skill is like needed kind of everywhere. And I've certainly over the years, not so much since I retired as much, mostly because I'm not out in the public as much. But I kind of miss that a little bit, to kind of just be out amongst normal people instead of just sitting around the house and live streaming everything or watching some TV show or playing a video game or reading a bunch of books or whatever. It's time to go put some of that experience to work back with the people again. I certainly have felt over the years that skill set of mine, where it always seemed like I was the right person in the right place at the right time to deal with some kind of weird thing that nobody's ever seen before. It's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. That's this. And go up and tinker with it, whatever it is, for a minute, and everything's fixed. And like, how did you do that? Where did you come from? Why are you here? We're glad that you did this. It saved us a lot of hassle, but what? How did you happen to be here?
It happens to me a lot too, actually, with knowledge I have, and just happening to know how to do something that somebody needs for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It used to happen a lot with me, but I've kind of taken myself off the board a little bit the last few years. You know, with COVID and all that stuff, I've kind of been off the grid as far as that goes. However, whatever that is that controls that kind of thing, I've kind of taken myself off the board, but I'm ready to get back on the board. There's something fun about that too. Just kind of going with the, following the stream, see where it takes you. And it's usually someplace kind of fun.
Right.
That's what I always say.
I know. It would be fun. But Jimmy, I'd like to, we should all go together. We should all go on a trip where we tour the U.S. We'd have to stick to the Southwest just because I'm poor. And we look into mysteries. We need to do, what is it called? Crowdsourcing. What's that called? Where like you get other people to pay for it.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I don't know.
I don't know about it.
No, I want to go up to Idaho to visit my family, and I'd like to drive up there. And I told Susie it'd be cool, like if she went with me or whatever, because I want to drive through like Moab, Utah, and all the weird places.
And that's one of the reasons that I decided on trying to do the van thing, is because I've driven. I like driving because I'm weird, I guess. Not everybody likes driving. From living a lifetime, my first part of my life of having basically my own plane where I can come and go as I want, and we did our own thing, flying on a plane, and I had my own bunk in the back of the plane. That's when I got my crew rest, was asleep during the actual flight. Once it's in the air, my job was over. But so once it landed again, then I went back to work, is basically how it went. But flying commercial, I despise it. I can't stand showing up early and paying out the nose for tickets, and your bag is 1 ounce over, so you're going to have to pay the extra charge, and all this craziness, just nickel and dime you to death. And you're cramped in this. I'm kind of a big guy, so I don't really fit in those little seats that they gave you, and you're going to get stuck next to
What kind of airplanes do you fly on in the Air Force? Like, are they like, what kind of?
I specifically worked on KC-135s. Those are the planes that refuel other planes in the air. And for the most part, it's if you can imagine like it's the equivalent of like a Boeing 707, which is a smaller airframe nowadays and not really used that much. But it's, if you can imagine an airliner with no seats in it.
That's what I was wondering, is if there were seats in it and stuff.
They do have like cargo pallets that you can put in there. There's like, troop seats, which is those red webbing type of seats along the sides that you can fold up or put away and stuff like that. But I had specific bunks that were, mine at the back of the plane. So that once we were here, that's when I was in my crew rest time frame, is when we were actually flying someplace. But to go from having my own bed and basically having the run of the plane to, you need to show up at this time, this many hours early, and go through security and go all that, and just like, no, can't. I just can't bring myself to do it. That sounds like a real pain in the ass. I'm just gonna.
You guys could like walk around like during the flight and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, walk up front. Weird. I always made sure we had a little galley section that mostly just held water, and there's like a little heating thing there so you could make coffee, and like a traditional style of electric oven. I get nowadays they have microwaves and stuff like that, but we didn't have those in my day. But I always kept my galley working great. I'd go to like pizza, like once we went someplace and we're going to come back, we'd always like get pizza the last night we were there for dinner and have leftovers. We heat it up in the little oven so the whole plane smells like pizza. It's like, hey, how's that bologna sandwich that you got at the flight lunch?
How
But
weird.
it's little dumb things like that. Have it basically free run of the plane to you. This is your designated square that you have to sit in. Now sit there and shut up.
Right.
I can't deal. So I drive everywhere. But driving across this great country of ours, there's a lot of cool stuff between point A.
Oh yeah, there is. There's a whole lot of cool stuff.
That's why I like the idea of the van, lifestyle kind of a thing. Is I would certainly like if I'm going to something in California, I would sort of like do what I did this past year, where I go to California, deadhead straight in. Then on the way back, now I've got I don't have like a designated time frame to be somewhere. So I can take as long as I want on the way back home. I don't even have to go directly home. I can go zigzag wherever I want, kind of a thing. So,
but if you don't, always let somebody know so somebody knows where you're at, Enzo.
That's right. My body will be here.
Safety first.
Yep, safety first.
Cool.
So that's how I get my bliss. Is
nice.
Building up a lifestyle to where I can do whatever I want whenever I want.
That's awesome.
You deserve it. You work for that and you deserve it. That's awesome. That makes it all the more enjoyable knowing that you worked for that and you deserve it.
Yep.
So what do you get your bliss at, my dear?
Well, I was telling him when you were walking outside, I was talking about how what brings me the most bliss, like pure bliss, is laughter. When we start laughing about something, or like when we start laughing so hard that we can't even breathe, and we're like we're just like can't even handle it, or we're just like, or when you're like trying to tell a story, but you're laughing so hard you can't even get it out. Though that is pure bliss for me.
Yeah, that's the kind of laughter that makes me pee my pants.
I love it. I love it, and also,
that's why you have to stand in the rocks.
Right.
Yeah, that's why she's working on the rocks.
Yep, that's why I got a pass.
Bliss is human connection for me. Like, I love to talk to people. I love hearing their point of views, and I love sharing my point of views, and I love being open-minded, and I love talking to open-minded people. I just love human connection and communication, and just that part of being human is good. I like it. I like that we can do that, and I do that. I do that.
Doo-doo. She said doo-doo.
So that is so important to me. There's people that don't. It's not for everybody. Some people don't want to connect with anybody, and they don't want to communicate, and that doesn't bring them bliss. Being quiet brings them bliss. Everybody. Oh God.
What was that?
A big truck.
Oh.
It's so nice outside though. I had to leave the window open. But like I said, it's not everybody. No matter what it is, if you like being quiet and being alone and that brings you bliss, if you like being a bunch of people, if you like sharing, or if you like not, it doesn't matter what brings you bliss. Do it anyways and enjoy it. And everybody should respect anybody that can stand in their own bliss, in their own truth. And I do. I don't care what you do to have fun and be happy. I respect that you're doing it because that's just the way we should be. And I think that it would help a lot if people knew that. Just just that awareness that you don't have to be such a stick in the mud, or you don't have to not be happy. That's the main thing. You don't have to be miserable. Everybody seems
sometimes I think it just bothers. Sometimes I think people are threatened by people that have the courage to find their bliss, because some people like being just not happy. and grumpy. Yep.
That is true. If they like that, then more power to them. Be grumpy if that makes you happy. But if you are not enjoying being grumpy, or if you're miserable, you don't have to be. You do not have to be.
I have a question for Enzo. If it's a little, my back. That's what happens when you bend over a lot, guy. I mean,
Bricker down.
I meant because of me like doing my rock. I always say things that sound so weird. What was I going to say? Okay, I wanted to ask Enzo a question. It's a kind of a change of subject, but you said something about all the drone activity lately or something. What are you talking about with that?
Yes. At various spots around we're going through a good old fashioned UFO flap right now for quite a few areas of the world. To be fair, a lot of them do appear to be drones, but they aren't like your regular order it on Amazon, go to Walmart, kind of DJI Maverick kind of drone.
I guess the thing I saw could have been drones. Now that I think about it,
well, there's certainly some hot spots. The eastern part of England right now, or in the UK, there's a couple of military bases over there that have just literally had dozens of swarms of these drones all around the base for the last like almost week plus.
And they're not worried that it's like that might be another country. Like, I don't know, since we're like making everybody mad right now.
Right. And most likely that's what those things are. But some of the drones are clearly drones. You can hear the little propellers. They have lights on them that you can clearly see that are mocked up like a regular drone, like you might buy. But then there's other drones that are nearby or in part of that same way that are big, like small car size big. And they don't necessarily act the same way. And there have been some reports of things that would probably fall more onto the UFO side than the actual, propeller driven drone side in some of these cases. Now, is it just happens to be that there's drones there from Russia or China or Iran or someplace like that doesn't like Western facilities there, and they're swarming the area, just being pests, and it just also happens to be that there's UFOs there? That seems a little curious, but a lot of people have filmed a lot of activity, like in England. A little there right now. The biggest flap is concentrated in the southern part of New Jersey, and there's also been some stuff going on in Texas. There's also been a couple of different videos out of the Phoenix area that have certainly been strange, and I don't know that they're actual drones for down there. That doesn't seem like normal drone style activity. But a lot of people have been hearing about this, and they're going outside with their cameras and they're filming. To be fair, a lot of like regular things. Like I've got my Twitter open to hashtag UFOs right now. There's clearly videos of regular aircraft around there. And I would bet that whoever's filming it lives somewhere near an airport because they're relatively low, and from the lights on it, and you can hear the jet engines on it. It's clearly a regular aircraft. But some of the videos don't show that. They show stuff kind of weird. There was one a few nights ago in around Tulsa, Oklahoma, of an aircraft. Clearly, you can see the lights, formation lights on the aircraft, following basically what was a big orb. Tracking directly behind it, following it. That one in Phoenix is one of the better ones of like, I don't know what the hell that is. It was classic 90s Western Europe black triangle type looking things where
see, I didn't see a triangle. What I saw though was, well, I guess it could have been a drone. It didn't look like anything like an aircraft. It looked like cherries, cigarette cherries, large ones. And they faded out. They were orange. The lights were orange, and there were 5 of them. And I live near a mountain. I live near the Estrella Mountains. I'm near South Mountain. So when I look out, I have a big window in my kitchen, and it faces the Estrella Mountains, and then South Mountain is off to the left. Well, I looked out my window, and I saw we live in a path. We live where the like underneath a path or whatever. The airport is like there, and we live under a path. So there's always planes that are coming from like the southwest, I guess it would be. Yeah, it's from the southwest. And when they come in, they track from the southwest and then go this way. But so you'll see like 3, you can see sometimes like 3 lights coming in at a time. So it'll look like it'll look like a line of lights. So like if you're not used to seeing airport traffic, you might be like, whoa, why are those lights lined up or something? So I'm used to that, right?
Right.
So that's yeah.
There certainly are a lot of videos on the internet right now of exactly that. People that just aren't used to looking around outside at night that probably live near an airport and are seeing regular traffic, and they're like, oh, there it is. There's
right. Because like if I go out in front of my house and I look towards Sky Harbor, I can see a line, because wherever you're from my viewpoint or whatever, it looks like a line. If I were to connect the dots or the lights, yeah, and you can, because it is a line. They're flying on a flight path. They are on a line. It's like a road in the sky. So they all go, like the planes, I'm sure, go the same direction. So that's why there's like rows of them. But what caught my eye the other night is they don't come from this way, right? So when you see them, they're coming from that way. And I'm outside a lot every night at night, like multiple times. And I was in the kitchen and I looked in a direction where there's not ever planes and stuff, but I can kind of see the sky, and I saw the orange light out of the corner of my eye. And then I looked and I saw 2 of them, and I was like, well, that's strange. I was like, there's not usually 2 lights in that direction at the same time. And so I went outside and there were 5 of them, and they were like, they moved into where they were like in a, like almost like a circle. And I was like, oh my God. And my husband and I were both, because I called him, I was like, come look at this. I was like, what is that? Because they were like orange and there was no sound or anything. And then I was going to come in and get my camera, and I was like, wait, is it going out? And then one by one, they faded like a cigarette cherry, like a light, like a candle burnt out. And they faded one by one until they were all, and I was like, whoa, I was like, that's weird. I was like, I've never seen something like that. I was like, what does that? I said, was that a flare? So then I thought, okay, so I know that they sometimes in military exercises, they have done flares where they drop flares and they're like slow burning flares or something. So I thought maybe that's what it was. But they don't do military exercises right there. That would be weird, and to do something right there. And then, so we came back inside, and then I saw out of the corner of my eye, I saw one go like, it came back into being. It was weird. It came back into being or something. And it like lit up again. And then another one lit up, and then they went out. And it was like the way that they like, I don't know. And I was like, whoa. I was like, they came back. Wait, they went away again. And then it came back, and then it went away again. And then that was it. And I was like, that was weird. I was like, what was that?
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of places have been reporting is, okay, they could sort of see, yeah, that's probably just like a regular old drone. But then it does something kind of odd like that, where there's like, it's the same thing where they just fade out, which I guess you could say, well, maybe they've got it designed so that you can turn all the lights off on it. But some of these cases, there's no sound either. It's like
there was no sound at all. There was no sound, none.
And speaking of that, of the lights, anyways, is especially like for the ones over in England right now, they're around basically an American base, RAF Lakenheath, which is mostly a fighter base. At least the last time I was over there, which was a while ago now. But anyhow, they what they're reporting and what I've seen videos of is they kind of look just like a lot of the ones I've seen are like your regular drones. Some of them are like bigger than your standard, quadcopter, which they do make like really big ones that have like big to carry like big professional, photography gear and stuff on it for like doing movies and TV shows and stuff like that, which will have like 8 of the little propellers around it instead of 4. And those are kind of big and they make a lot more noise. But all of them have lights on them, like the regular lights you would expect to see on a drone for the most part. Some of them still have a bunch of lights, but because like drones still have to legally, just like a regular aircraft, have to have specific colors of formation lights where the left wingtip, if I was a pilot sitting in a plane right now and I'm facing forward, just like if you were in a car, to your left, that left wingtip would have to be red. There would have to be a red light on that. The right wingtip over on the right side would have to be green. At the very tail would have to be either white or amber. Somewhere along the fuselage or on the tail, somewhere on the aircraft, there's usually a flashing anti-collision beacon type of thing.
I've always wondered about the lights and the different colors and the why there's the blinking one and then there's the
right. Yeah, there's certain things that they have to fly anywhere in the world for any kind of flying aircraft, to include drones.
So something to fly to light up the way that it lit up when I saw it, then they were not doing what is standard practice then in their flight lightingness or whatever, right?
Right. For it not to have your green light and your red light and a tail light and some kind of strobe or flashing, red or white light kind of a thing. That's against the law. It's not supposed to be flying in the air for any kind of aircraft or any kind of drone. And you can't
then that was definitely not legal then, what I saw.
Right. Now, if these are made to just harass people at the base because they've got a bunch of stuff just swarming all over the place, zipping all around the base, why does it have lights at all? Why? I mean, even some electrical tape over top of the lights that already exists would be your poor man type of idea. But some of them don't even they'll have all kinds of lights, but like they're all red. There's no green one. There's no flashing stuff. It's just, they're all red. It's got a bunch of red. I saw a video earlier today where it had several small, very bright red lights all over it, but that was it. And, somebody's going to a lot of trouble to modify a regular drone, or even if it's a home built drone, it's specifically meant to look weird. I saw another video where the way the lights were, if it passed really close to where they were so they could kind of see the frame of the drone, but it looks like a triangle, the way that the lights are. If you didn't know, if it was at a distance in the dark, it would look like a triangle flying around. They could see, like, and the video showed you, there's, infrastructure there. There's little pieces sticking out to where the lights are and things like that. But it's specifically designed to look weird. So
what do you think it is? All the drones are then?
I think 99% of it is probably, it's got to be Russia or China messing with us, kind of a thing. At least as far as like the base in the UK. That's not a giant surprise, because last year, it's been about 18 months ago now, there was a base near Langley, Virginia, that had the exact same thing happen, where there were like 30. There were so many drones over the base, they had to cancel flying because they were afraid they were going to hit one. And the topic usually comes like, why don't they just go out there and shoot them down? The problem with shooting at anything in the air is that bullet needs, if it even like say it just missed, you missed whatever, that bullet's going to come down somewhere, like in the town that's like a mile away, or the schoolyard, or the mall, or wherever it just happens to be your shoe. So shooting in the air is a bad idea and is frowned upon. Even with a national defense thing, if it's just a drone buzzing around, let it be. It's not hurting anything. At worst, it's got a picture of somebody standing there with binoculars looking at it. Stuff like that. Now, in Eastern Europe, drones are a very different thing. They have explosives strapped to them, and they're like a kamikaze, basically a very detailed type bomb, like 2 individuals that they can use for drones. That's a much scarier thing. Now, we're not seeing anything like that with the current wave. But now that at the same time that this is going on in the UK, it's also happening in various spots in New Jersey, Texas. There was a report from, this was 2 nights ago now, of commercial aircraft pilots saying, hey, we're seeing these crazy lights all over the place at altitude above us, like in the 40,000 foot range and higher. What is that? They're calling to the tower trying to figure out what is this? What's going on? That certainly falls more, because your standard little copter drone, whether it's a quadcopter, an octocopter, or even something crazy, even much larger, it's not flying at 40,000 feet. So that's something very different.
I think that our government, I don't know, I feel like they might be trying to like create something that they're going to do and then say it's like aliens, but it's not, or something. I don't know.
Classic Project Bluebeam. That's what that one's called. Is
a lot of people think that.
Well, because they're talking about it and they're doing all these congressional hearings at the same time that we suddenly start seeing stuff. It's like, come on now. I don't know. Our government does stuff like that, and it's getting old because it's so obvious.
Right.
It's like we're not that dumb. Like they think we're dumb, and we're not. It's just that we're poor and we can't do anything about it. It's not that we're dumb, okay?
Right. To the best of my knowledge, the base is over in England, and all the places around the U.S. The military or police or nobody's like trying to shoot these things down, even if they don't care that they may hit something else. They're just letting them do whatever they do, come, zip around the base or whatever, and then they let them fly away. If this was like a wartime, honestly, if they were at a base over in Eastern Europe, let's say, where there's certainly some other fighting going on, you're shooting at that thing because you don't know what's strapped to it. You don't want anything near anything. So how do they know? You got to wait for them to blow something up before you're going to start returning fire. Well, they're already on top of you now. It's too late.
Right. Well, that's why they're not going to shoot anything down, because they all know that they're all behind it. The governments, they all are trying. They need a reason to create a one world something. And the only way they're going to do that is by give us another threat that's outside, where they're going to have to be like, oh, we have to come together.
And of course, the question always comes, well, why now? Why are they doing that now? The current administration has only got about a month and a half left. So the new guy coming in January isn't going to put up with foolishness like this, I don't think. So if it's a Project Bluebeam, and anyone who doesn't know Project Bluebeam, that's been around for a long time, where the idea is the government fakes an alien invasion and then says we need to build up our military even bigger and better to protect us from them space aliens, kind of a thing. And we're gonna put lockdowns everywhere, nobody move around because we don't want never know where them aliens are gonna attack next. Just whatever craziness you want to go. That's the reason for it. That idea has been around for a long time. It's usually attached with some kind of like holographic technology of the giant spaceships that take up like the whole sky going over a city and stuff like that, which we have not seen. But it's.
I think that they do have technology that they know about, that they plan to use, but they don't have any way to explain it other than it being alien, because they don't want us to know that there were advanced people that were human that lived here before. They don't want us to know who we really are. So they're going to come up with something that that it's alien, so they can say, oh, we reversed engineered it, rather than it's just something they've always had because the people that were here before, like Atlantean people or something, left it. Right. They probably that's what they do, is they fake some stuff so they can bring out some technology that they've had this whole time, guys. And they pretend
I think that anything that people are saying like that is valid, because we don't want to really know, because they've kind of made fools out of us for long enough.
Yeah.
Or maybe they know there's aliens and they know they're coming back, so they're trying to prepare us. Whatever it is, there are people in this world that they have a lot more pieces of the puzzle in regards to the nature of our reality than we do.
The standard government position for like UFOs since the 40s has been deny. It's not real. It's swamp gas. It's the planet Venus. It's I don't care how many hours you have as a pilot or what your war record was from World War II. You just saw clouds. That was it. Just generations, literally, of the government poo-pooing anything having to do with that. But suddenly, in the last dozen or so years, hey, maybe there's something to it. Maybe we need some congressional hearings on it. So,
right.
What's changed in all of that? That suddenly they're going to do a 180 and say, hey, maybe there's something to this. Let's get some people in the chat about it. Who they bring in, people that don't provide any actual evidence. It's a lot of, I can't say that unless it's in a secure location. And then when they take them to the secure location, they don't say anything anyways. So it's basically, sorry, but it's basically the same thing as listening to Art Bell from 30 years ago. Any random week. You can pick any random week of programming of Art Bell 30 years ago. Someone during that week is saying the exact same things people like Lou Elizondo and all those other nerds have been saying for the last couple of years with zero evidence. They're afraid of catastrophic disclosure, which is somebody saying, all right, here's the deal. Here's the map of where this is where they've got the backwards engineering program at this base, at this location. They've got alien bodies. They've got live ones over at this place. Here's pictures of it. Here's a video of them interviewing an alien that captured all of the stuff.
Is that an actual word that they use? Do they actually say that they are afraid? Yeah. Oh my! Isn't that funny? Yeah. They're literally telling us honestly what they're afraid of, right? Except for it's not that. That wouldn't be the catastrophic disclosure, though. That's hilarious.
I think it would be fantastic, and it's what I've been waiting for my whole life.
It would be so fantastic, but that wouldn't be the catastrophic disclosure is that they've literally lied to us about everything, our entire existence. As long as we've been alive, they've lied to us about the nature of our reality.
They're afraid. What they're afraid of is they're afraid of what that's going to do to the social norms. Is if the regular Joe American sees live on their TV a gray talking to some other government types saying, you shot down my aircraft, my UFO, and you're holding me hostage here so I can tell you how to build space lasers or whatever it is. You find out life outside of our planet is real. There are aliens out there in the universe, and they're coming here today. How much is that going to change your day-to-day life? Because to be honest,
I can guarantee you that all the people that are probably fighting war would put their weapons down.
Right.
You think?
Oh, no. No. They're going to say
why?
we need bigger, better, badder weapons to combat their weapons, is what they're going to say.
But they would put them down against each other, and then maybe somebody would convince them not to pick them back up.
Right. Independence Day is a classic example, and even Ronald Reagan made several speeches over the years. His famous UN speech of, imagine if there was some outside force from outside of our world where we would end up coming together and forgetting about our minor quibbles to work together as a species to battle these evil alien invaders. Almost a literal word for word thing from Reagan back in the 80s. But the average person, after seeing that, they might go, wow, well, I still got to go to bed because I got to still show up at work at 9 o'clock in the morning, kind of thing. I still got to pay $3 for a gallon of milk and $12 for a dozen eggs or whatever it is nowadays.
Right.
But I don't know that humans would be so quick to hurt each other, though, if they knew that there was.
I agree. We have literal other alien races to be racist about, so we can do that. But it is one of those things. I think we're ready as a species to hear that truth, that there's other stuff out there, and they've been coming here just keeping an eye on us. Or they live under the ocean, or they live in the middle of the earth, or whatever the actual truth is. Enough of this fooling around. I think we're ready, and we could certainly use a little free energy technology and anti-grav stuff to get from one point to another quickly, and things like that.
We could also use some honesty in regards to the fact that there are beings here and have been here that you can't see, that I think our government works with and talks to and gets information from.
Which comes down to the root of, why have they been keeping it secret all this time? Yeah, the standard answer is the government doesn't want to admit they don't know what the hell these things are, and they have no way of stopping them even if they do. That kind of thing. Or maybe it's a horrific answer that we don't want to know. People would freak out and burn their house down if they found out that an example, because that's another one of those rumors you've always heard from the deep inside sources in the Washington, D.C. If you were to find out the truth, it would ruin everything. Civilization would collapse. It's like, wait a minute, what would that possibly be? And I asked somebody that I knew, I won't say who it was, but I was like, what do you think that would be? And their example that they said to me was, imagine you want to buy a big patch of land out in the country, out away from the city. You buy a big 100-acre plot. It's got trees. There's a stream running through it. There's a pond. There's all that. It's your property. You can do whatever you want with it. You can make a secluded little cabin and set up webcams to look at all the wildlife, because there's squirrels and deer and foxes and all kinds of stuff running around on this 100 acres. Or you could saw out every tree and turn it into a big box store out in the middle of nowhere if you want. It's your property. You can do what it want. In the galactic neighborhood scenario, we're the deer that lives on that 100 acres of property. Someone owns this block of the galaxy, and we are the. If they decide they want to just plow over Earth and turn it into a big, cement landing strip for their giant spaceships, they can, because it's their property, and we would have no say in it. That kind of scenario would be horrific to a lot of people, as it should be, where we have no say over what we thought was something that was our, hey, this is my house. No, it isn't. There's some galactic overlord 12 light years away owns it. He owns the entire solar system. You don't have any claim on anything. That would be horrifying for a lot of people, that everything is they thought of is just destroyed, about raising their family and getting a little house. And that doesn't matter. Alien overlord owns everything anyways. Even if you went to Mars, they own it anyways. It doesn't matter. There's nowhere we could go. That would be, people would end themselves over how catastrophic that would be. So maybe that's part of the reason that there's some truth. People would lose it. People would really freak out.
Yeah. Isn't that what God is, like the all-powerful alien, isn't it? Isn't he? If people were to believe in God, if he were to do something, if science were to do something to Earth, then there's nothing that any of us can do about it. That's just as terrifying, or even more terrifying than aliens, because at least if there's an intelligence behind it, you think maybe you can talk to it or something. But a pulsar or something could wipe it out.
Wait a minute. So if in our scenario, you own that 100 acres, are you going to listen to the deer if you want to put in a Walmart there in the middle of it?
I would.
Yeah, we personally would, but yeah,
I would. So I super won't build something if there's like an anthill something or whatever.
You're driving down the highway. You don't stop to talk to the ants that are on the side of the bridge that you just drove.
I do. Right. I do though. Huh, Susie? Yeah, like in the video that I was doing today, I was literally talking to, I don't even know, because I was all huh, guys. And then I was like, oh, who am I talking to? Because I do. I talk to the trees. I talk to the bugs. I talk to the birds. I talk to, and I literally do that all the time. It's a habit. It's because that's who I really am. I really do believe that everything is sentient. I think that animals understand me. I think that trees and flowers can feel and know if I'm giving it attention or telling it that it's beautiful. I believe that they can feel those things.
And that very same scenario would also apply. You buy your 100 acres, everything that's on there. This is a protected 100 acres. Yes. All you other monsters out there in the universe, you can't go onto my little 100 acres. The deer, which would be us, they can frolic into it. If they leave that 100 acres, though, then they're going to get swiped. So now we're stuck. We can't expand outside of our own solar system, our own planet, or whatever, because there's monsters out there that would certainly kill us if we stepped off of that 100-acre property.
Yeah, but if you're on a beautiful island, do you feel stuck because you're not going? What if you love the island and it has everything you need? You don't need to go off of the island.
Because humans are natural explorers, and
not me, not this girl.
Yeah, you are.
We want to venture out,
not outside of the world,
test our limits to see where to do. Elon's big thing. He wants to go to Mars. He wants a city on Mars.
Does that even sound fun though? To like go in outer space? That sounds scary as hell to me. That doesn't sound fun at all. It sounds dark and lonely and cold and scary and no oxygen. Like, I'll stay here where it's nice and warm and sunny, where I can breathe for sure. At least for now, until they, make that stop.
So there's a million different reasons of why maybe they won't come, to tell us that. I kind of imagine if it's something like that big, they would never, ever tell us. It falls under that same, if there's a 30-mile wide asteroid that's going to slam into Earth and kill everybody on it.
Oh, they wouldn't say a thing. They wouldn't. And they're not going to ever tell us the truth about
actually said something today about an asteroid heading towards us.
Asteroids head towards us all the time.
Yeah, there's always an asteroid.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I can pull up a website right now that'll show you the next 5 that are coming towards us, and they're all going to be within 24 hours. Some of them as small as a car, some of them the size of a building, some of them passing so close they're inside the orbit of the moon.
Mm-hmm. And let's hope that none of them go through the keyhole. Let's hope none go through the keyhole.
What's the keyhole?
There's like a sweet spot that we can pull something in to our gravitational field or whatever. If it goes through that little sweet spot, it can pull it in. So
well,
hopefully angels aren't playing games up there.
The aliens have a greater knowing and knowledge than us, and they have like higher consciousness, so they know which one of us aren't stupid enough to try and start war with them. So luckily there's that. Hopefully,
I don't.
Well, if there is angels, people are going to think that they're aliens, and they're going to try to shoot them down because the government's going to be like, shoot them down, they're aliens, and then we're going to be shooting at angels, and then that's really going to be messed up because then we're going to all get in trouble.
For a long time, there's been rumors coming out of like the Pentagon that there's a lot of top brass there that are convinced that yes, aliens are real, but they're not from another planet. They're actually demons.
Oh yeah,
I believe that. I do believe that aliens are demons. I believe that. I believe that is that. Oh, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't believe that. I believe that is a possibility because I very much think that demons have a giant hand in the way that things work in our world because I believe that they are energetic beings, and so they can influence our thought and therefore our behavior. And I think that they are jealous of people because we have physical bodies. We're both spirit and physicality, and they don't like that because they can't have both. So I believe in demons.
There's so many theories because there's theory that they did before. They did at one time have bodies like ours, but like changed into the way that they are now because of the way that they kept living and their bodies. That's how their bodies like evolved or devolved or whatever.
I think everything had to be spirit first because everything was invisible before it was real. Like this chair was an idea in somebody's mind before it was made.
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe there was a whole bunch of ideas like walking around on Earth before people were made. And maybe when people were made, they were like, what? What are all these fleshy people doing in our neighborhood?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hairless apes have really taken over the joint. Have to spray them or something.
What's the gateway tape?
I really don't know.
What's the gateway tapes? What's that? Susie, Jen's telling you something.
Oh, she is. Oh, shoot, my computer went off. The gateway tapes? Is the gateway tapes about Project Looking Glass? Or is the gateway tapes about the stargates that are everywhere? I don't know. Let me look it up really quick. What do you know about the stargates? Anyone?
Me?
Anyone?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Well, I think
I don't know.
I forgot to put the chat up when we rebooted the show. I've been not watching the chat at all and thought I was. I apologize.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely been people too underground that have been here, and I think that have technology. I don't know if they're people that like are part of the government.
Okay. The gateway tapes is where they were teaching, I guess, the soldiers or whoever, using people that had that were using all their senses with their extrasensory perceptions, and training them
to remote viewing thing, right?
Yep, to remote view. They're training their psychic abilities, training manifestation abilities, training healing abilities, because they know that all of our bodies can do this. Everybody's body, everybody can have extra sense. Everybody has all the same senses. It's a matter of what you use and what you don't. And so they got
some people are forced. I mean, we can all play basketball. That doesn't mean we're going to be in the NBA. Exactly. That it's some people are way better at it than others. Have a more innate skill for a lot of those things.
Right.
I totally agree with you.
So like they trained these people to use all those abilities and like all these abilities that I'm always talking about, Jara, like that I think that we can do all these things. So they're just maybe they were doing the gateway tapes to show or prove that it's true, or maybe they were doing the gateway tapes to know what they need to keep secret more. Well, I don't know really what the
Well, the
nefarious
CIA
of it
does
was.
training like that for nefarious reasons only.
Right.
They don't use any kind of anything for anything good. There's no like, oh, let's see how we can use this to help people. I don't think they our government
is that it's out there and it got out there. So is it made up? Are those CIA records made up or not?
No, I don't think so.
There's when it comes to like remote viewing, the Russians did it. We fell behind. We set up our own program. The results from that, as far as like a wartime fighting kind of thing, it might give you like a clue or base, because even like the best remote viewers, it's still kind of vague. It's not like they're going to tell you exactly where that Russian sub is and who's commanding it, and if they're having a bad day, and if you want to attack on a Tuesday or what. They're not going to tell you anything like that. But it's certainly one of those things I feel like they do probably use when everything else fails. They don't have like an inside spy guy. They don't have a satellite picture. They don't have that. They're like, all right, we'll let the remote viewing guys take a stab at it and give us a basic direction, is kind of what it's used as, I think.
I think that's when I think that they have gotten into things and experimented with things where they have found out and understand that they can talk to demons that know things, because demons can see things because they're energy, and they tell. I believe that governments and stuff have worked with like entity things that they communicate. I think that's where, I don't know, some of because in a lot of the like pseudobiographica and stuff like that, it talks about the angels teaching technology to people. So I don't know, what if that was true? What if it was angels teaching them technology? That's why Elon's Elon. He's friends with an angel.
Sure. I don't know. I don't know about the demon part. Because I feel bad if I was calling somebody a demon, because really we're aliens too to them. So like, what if they're sitting over there having a podcast saying like, I think those humans are demons. If you ask me,
they're all racist. They hate us. Every movie they put out, they're shooting the aliens. They're not getting along with them, except for that ET guy.
I call them invisible beings, because I don't. A demon doesn't necessarily. I mean, an invisible person. I think there's invisible people around us, and some of them are really bad, and some of them just like to mess with people in really weird and disturbing ways.
I feel it would be just like regular people all the way around. We all know people in our lives that we've encountered that are really great people, and you always want to keep them close because they're fantastic. We've also met people that you don't want to be within 1,000 miles of them because they are the worst thing you've ever seen.
Right.
There's no difference, I feel, as far as
I agree with that.
Outside of that. It doesn't matter if they're from a different star system. They may come up and tell you lies and try and swindle you out of your planet, and stuff like that. So it's you gotta be, people are people no matter where they are in the universe, I feel.
Right.
There's good ones and bad ones.
So I think, Jara, those invisible people aren't invisible. You can't see them. Because like we can't see everything that's in front of us. We can.
Well, that's what I mean by invisible. That's what I mean by invisible. Like with your eyes, they're not visible. You can't detect them with this visible spectrum of light.
Yeah.
But
like other beings.
But I think you can feel them. You can feel them. I think that you can see them when you meet people and they're in people, and you meet somebody, or you've seen somebody before that just is like, ugh, you can tell they're like not a.
Oh yeah.
Like
they're like an emotional vampire. You can just feel the energy with certain people that they are not good people, and there's nothing good going to come out of this.
Right. Yeah. So I think that they're invisible in that people think that it's not real. I think a lot of people honestly don't realize, or even think it could be real, that things that you can't see are real and they impact you in a very serious way if you're not aware that that can happen. Like, I don't think that people, people that think that stuff like that can't happen. I don't know. I just think that people should always never not believe in anything. Never not believe in anything. Everything's true. Just in case. I know that didn't really make sense. But you know what I mean.
I think there's a way that you can protect yourself from things affecting you.
Well, I don't know. I think that like I myself feel protected because of my belief system, I guess, and I think I'm really annoying and in a light kind of a way that a demon wouldn't want to mess with me because they're like just like kidnappers want to kidnap me.
Yeah, they'll bring you back for sure.
Yeah, they would totally bring me back. They'd be like, "This chick is annoying. Get her out of my car."
She keeps telling us about digging up her rocks, and can we?
Right. Right. Like, for the last time, lady, we don't care about rocks. Yeah.
Luckily, I'm just that annoying too. I'm safe.
We live in space. There's plenty of rocks out here too. We got it.
Right. Yep. Man, it's been a minute, guys. I'm gonna have to go.
That was a really good talk, though. It was a really good talk. I appreciate
I gotta put my stuff away outside.
I appreciate being able to talk with you guys about stuff like that without, letting each other hear ourselves without judgment is healthy, very healthy.
It is. It is. And I like your hat too, Enzo. I've been meaning to say that, and I just keep looking at it and not saying it.
I want to make sure that if anybody watches this, if you're new here, please enjoy our show and come back, hit the like, subscribe, tell all your friends. If you're interested in hypnotherapy or healing or life coaching, please visit my website, awakeninghearts333.com. Please join us again. If you guys have any topics you'd like us to discuss, you can find our email in the bio of this video. And leave us a message. We love to hear from you.
And hopefully I'll start adding some content to our channel soon, like stuff that I do. So if anybody wants to see what I do, like with my wire trees and stuff, and then you can buy them if you want. My brother gave me some resin, so I am.
Ooh, resin is fun too.
I know, I haven't worked with it before. Oh, and my brother makes knives, everybody. Check him out at Roadrunner Knives on Instagram.
Roadrunner,
beautiful knives.
Yeah, he makes Damascus. He works with Damascus steel, and yeah, he made a knife. It looks like a feather. It's awesome.
That's so cool.
I got a shirt. I'll wear it next time to advertise his stuff.
Have a really good rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Good night.
Here's a power move to.
Oops, that's not the one. My bad. Sorry. Good night, everybody.